It's time for the Battle Rage-Mech Conflict review for the Wii. I bought this game at GameStop used for $9. Looking at the box art, it looks convincing that it'll be a good game, so I was wondering why it was so cheap, and then I looked at the back of the box. DDI. When you see this logo on the back of a box, you expect crap, right? Well, this game is basically that. This is a game where you fight with a huge robot against other robots usually controlled by humans. When you start the game, it will tell you the history behind the robots, which, I have to say, isn't too bad of a story, but you don't play this game for the story, so let's take a look at the gameplay. The objective, if you didn't already know, is to destroy your opponent in each level. In arcade mode, you have to destroy your opponent 5 times to advance to the next battle. The problem with this? It's both hard and easy. Now let me explain. When you first play this game, you will most likely hate it. The controls are close to being unplayable, and the camera is difficult to deal with. This is what makes the game hard. However, if you can stick with it and learn how to play with the controls and camera, the game becomes too easy because the AI can be stupid and their defense is crap. Before you head into battle, you will need to choose which attributes you want your robot to fight with. When I first played this, I would put most of my stats into my armor and my shield. If you do this, you will have a pretty easy time killing off your opponents, but it is so boring! I played like this for a couple of hours, and I was bored out of my skull. Then, after beating arcade mode yet again, I decided to add speed to my robot's attributes. And boy, what a difference it makes! The game is actually fun now. Well, for a while. Even with speed taking my shield stats, the game is still too easy. Versus mode is basically a one-on-one match, but with certain rules that you can apply. Co-op mode is a 2-on-1 match. You and a friend will battle the computer, which makes this game even easier than it already is. However, I did not find it to be more fun than single player. Why? Because the game is slowed down. Now in single player, there will be times where the frame rate will become choppy, which is highly noticeable and super annoying. But in co-op mode, instead of a choppy frame rate, the whole game has been slowed down, which makes playing it so boring. Now for some decent news. I thought the graphics weren't that bad. I was actually surprised by how good they looked. But still, it feels like the developers focused on the graphics more than anything in this game. The controls, when you first start out, are torture. Aiming with the Wiimote was the only control method that doesn't suck. Even just moving around is a pain. The problem is the camera. It's so close behind your robot that you can't see anything past your waist, making it very frustrating when there are objects on the field which for some reason you can't just step on. You have to shoot or go around them. Along with some type of gun at your disposal, your robot can also perform melee attacks. To do this, you have to swing the nunchuck, but the problem is that the motion sensors will not read your movements correctly frequently, so your best melee attack method is just to flail the nunchuck. Now going back to the easy factor, there are some special weapons throughout the levels which you can pick up, which will destroy your opponent faster than your stock weapon, which doesn't really add fun to the game because it's too easy. Each time you kill off your opponent for the 5th time to advance to a new stage, there is like no sense of accomplishment. All it does is show you the stats of the battle, which is just annoying. Every time you're about to go into battle, there will be a little verbal duel between you and your opponent. Now look at this. The text will sometimes move fast, but usually too slow. What the heck? It's like watching someone type the script on the spot really slow. This is just weird. Is it too much for this game to handle script? Battle Rage-Mech Conflict is such a bad game. Why do developers put out such crap? Now I do have to say, with the controls, gameplay, camera, and frame rate making this game almost unplayable in the beginning, if you can play through it to the point where you've gotten used to the controls, the game can be pretty fun. That is, in single-player mode. It definitely is not in multiplayer, but I did have some fun while in single-player mode. And the graphics aren't that bad either. However, since there are just so many bugs and the fact that I found the game to be too easy, there is virtually no point in playing this game, unless you just want to be able to say, yes, I have played this game. I was hoping that this game would be like the giant robot game Sega produced, Virtual On, but instead, I basically got the opposite thing. This game gets a 1.25 out of 5 with the title of horrible.